Hi, horse friends. In today's video, I'm going to talk about facility layout and how we designed our facility and why, and some things that we really like and some things that we wish we would have done different. So if you look at our facility, we have a barn. When you come in on the left down there, our property makes a giant L. The barn down there was built before we moved here. If I had it my way, I would not have built a barn down there. I personally don't like having a barn so close to the road, as well as an arena out there. I just feel like for horses' safety, I like to get them farther up the property. But the good part about that is the horses down there do get really used to traffic. So if we want to get our horses bomb-proof to everything coming down the road, we use that outdoor arena for that. It is absolutely fantastic. As we know, a lot of some trail rides as well as big shows can have arenas and or riding next to roads. So it's a great way for us to practice. One of the things I also don't like is the distance that we have in between barns is great, which takes a lot of time for our staff to feed and to clean. It also makes it hard for us to necessarily see if we're on one end of the property or the other, what is happening in those barns. Now, along that line, if you come up here, you will see that I have built our pastures around the indoor arena and the outdoor arena. And one of the reasons that I have done that is some of the other properties that I have been to, the pastures are back out in the back 40. And unfortunately, I feel like when that happens, people don't necessarily see quickly if there's something wrong with a horse. So if you look at our road, when we drive in, we can see a lot of the horses just by glancing around. Now, we can't necessarily see them up close, but it does help us on first glance say, hey, you know what? Why is that horse off in the back by himself? He's not up with his friends. Let's go check it out. So for me, that was really important. We also have our property set up into what I call health islands, okay? Some places you have like 50 horses in a row. And the issue with that can be if one horse gets something that is contagious, they all get it. So for example, here we have like 3 horses here in a pack. We have the ability to isolate those 3 horses. We have these rows of pastures. We have that row of pastures. It's the same thing with the barn. We have 2 horses in the barn. We have the barn here, we have one side and then the other side. And we have the ability to section off the horses. And I feel that that is super, super helpful. So we just had strangles roll through our barn last year, and we were able to successfully stop it to a section. And I feel that our biosecurity measures within the barn, as well as within the facility design, really helped that. Now, another thing I want you to pay attention to, and we can't see the back turnouts out there right now, is when we design turnouts, we don't put them all in one area. Our goal is to make turnouts close to where they live. So we have a couple turnouts here. We have a few back there. I plan on building one right here for several reasons. One, the horses feel safer being closer to their stalls. And 2, that allows my employees to not have to walk so far. And time is money, my friends. Another thing I want you to notice is that my hay barn is separated. So I just don't think it's a very good idea to have your hay in with your horses. It is too combustible. There's a reason why when truckers are transporting hay, they don't cover it, because the hay ferments and it spontaneously combusts and lights up. We also have a designated camera on the hay barn for this reason. So we can glance at the camera and look at it and see if we think anything is changing. So many people think about putting a camera on their horses, which is great and everything, but you might think about putting it on the hay because you have a very serious fire hazard with your hay barn. So spend the extra money, build extra walls, put it away from your horses. And we also have a perimeter trail that goes around our property too for the horses to ride on. We believe that it is really, really good for the horses to go outside and not just ride in the arena. We are very fortunate to have a beautiful indoor arena as well as 2 outdoor arenas. We have 1 round pen, and we are currently building a second larger round pen. We'll do a separate video about why we want 2 different sized round pens for training purposes. And we are also building a Eurociser as well. So if you have any questions about facility design or anything like that, I am more than happy to answer. So please drop it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great day.